Hi, my name is Lucy Thompson Ramirez of Pescantina in downtown Los Angeles. Today we are here celebrating Latin Heritage Month, and we are celebrating with plátanos, a staple in Latin American cuisine. So plantains are a staple in Latin American cuisine. We've got 3 different versions here. I'm showing you the 3 different stages from ripest to the least ripe. This is known as the plátano verde, and I'm gonna use this for our first recipe. We start off by peeling off both of the ends, and I like to cut right along the vein of the plantain. And you kinda wanna stick your finger inside of it to really start getting the peel moving. It kind of has a texture of a celery, but as you can see, it comes right off. You could sense how ripe or underripe in this case. So now you've got your plantain fully peeled here, and then you want to cut them in about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches each. So you'll kind of get this size here. And once you're ready, you can bring this over to the fryer. Once the oil temperature is at 350 degrees, you can fry each of the 1-inch chunks to a bright yellow. Make sure you don't over brown them. So now these have been fried to a golden yellow. It's not thoroughly cooked, but it's soft enough where you could smash them and begin the process of making not tostones, but patacones in this case. This is a Colombian version of it. So if everybody at home has a nice sheet of foil paper, and what you want to do is you kind of want to add a little bit of oil to both sides of it so that when you attempt to smash it, it doesn't stick. And it's really important that you don't do it upside up. You want to do it on the side so that when you smash it, you get a really nice pancake consistency, kind of like this that we have here. And I just use anything that's flat. You want a flat surface, and you want to mash it up, and you get this nice little pancake consistency. You want it to be pretty thin because you are gonna deep fry it again, and you don't want it to absorb so much oil. Now this is a really important part. Here I have water with quite a bit amount of salt. 5 parts water, 1 part salt. And what you wanna do is you wanna dip each one right before you throw it in the fryers, which is what I'm gonna do next. The oil will splatter when the plantain hits the oil, so please be careful. Let it fry to a crispy texture, about 1 minute on each side, and you're ready to go. So now they are perfectly fried, and this dish can be served either with butter and cheese, or you can serve it in any which way as an appetizer, or you can turn it into a dessert. Plantains are super versatile, and you can really play with them and get creative. In this case, I am going to tap into my Mexican roots, and I am going to create a nice presentation. I have pre-chopped up some pico de gallo, which is tomatoes, onion, cilantro, half of a jalapeno, and some avocado. And then we just simply add some salt and pepper and a good squeeze of lime to give it that tartness and kind of bring out the flavors of the jalapeno, and cook a little bit of the onion so that it's not as strong. And you just kind of toss it up like so. It's almost like creating a tostada. And there you have it. A beautiful combination of plantains with a avocado pico de gallo. So for our next recipe, I want to show you the difference between the 2 plantains. Earlier we used a green plantain, which was very starchy and very hard. For this particular recipe, we're going to go on the sweeter side. So we really want it to have all of this black marks. It's not as pretty, but it is way more delicious. It's got a lot more sugars, and it lends itself really well to just about any dessert. So as you can see, it's much easier to cut than the green one. We can just put that aside, and we just want to cut down the center again. And you want to peel back carefully. In this case, you have a banana that's a lot softer, so you want to be a lot more gentle when peeling back this peeling. So we continue to peel very carefully. As you can see here, it's a little bit mushier than the other one. So you don't want it falling apart because we are gonna saute this up. Now you can follow the same line that you created and you just cut right along the middle. I like to cut these in half and just create perfect little quarter-sized bananas. So now that you've got the banana cut into quarters, you can get these ready to pan fry them with a ton of butter, and follow me to the stove. So this butter has been at room temperature, so it's easy to cut in. And like I said, do not be shy with how much you use. And I just like to go right in and drop these face down first because they're easier to cook this way. And your goal here is to get them nice and golden brown. You can kind of swoosh it around a little bit. And as you can see, the butter starts caramelizing right away because the bananas are releasing all of this gorgeous sugar that is all natural. Plantains are just a really beautiful product to work with because it really lends itself to so many different ways. You can have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. Move this around a little bit. This is a perfectly ripe plantain here. So as you can see here, this is perfectly cooked. So now you can just turn it over and you're more than halfway done at this point because it's already cooked almost all the way through. So you just want to caramelize the other side. And you want to be really, really generous with this honey. And here we have them, perfectly cooked and caramelized plantains. And you can just set them as so. Really try and get all of the goodies that are on the pot that have really turned into a great syrup. And then we are going to top this off with some Mexican crema. Now another option would be to do some really great condensed sweet milk. You can top it with nuts, you can add dried fruit to it. And then you've got this beautiful dish that again, you can serve as a side dish, as an appetizer, or as dessert. Thank you so much for joining us today and following along in these fun and easy recipes. Thank you to SoCalGas for making this possible and for celebrating Latin Heritage Month. And follow us on our social media channels at Pez Cantina. We are located in downtown LA and we are also opening up one at the Boulevard in Montebello. And a special thanks to the Latino Restaurant Association for making this all possible.